Gentlemen, it's been a long time. I haven't spoken to you guys since the Super Bowl. We're locked in right now. Episode 11, Blowing Steam with Dean. I'm your host, Dean Ferrezza. Yeah, folks, after the Super Bowl, you know, it's a little bit of a dead season. You got the winter sports teams coming into the end of their seasons, rolling into the playoffs. And let's just start by saying, what a fantastic year for New York winter sports teams. I mean, the Rangers, the Islanders, the Devils, the Nets, and the Knicks all making the playoffs. Let's just give them a fucking round of applause real quick, because I can't tell you the last time that even happened. I want to say it was 1998. That's a long time ago. 25 years since all the New York winter teams made the playoffs. So let's give them a little bit of kudos. New York relevant, back on the map. The New York sports teams are back on the map. The Giants are fucking coming off of a playoff appearance this year, a playoff win against Minnesota this year. The Jets, I don't know if you heard, they added a guy by the name of Aaron Rodgers. Discount double check. Yeah, big things happening in the New York sports world right now. Of course, the Mets and the Yankees last year with their playoff runs. Big things happening in New York right now. Well, we're going to start with the obvious, because I only come on here really to talk about one team and one team only most of the time. We're going to start with the big man, Aaron fucking Rodgers. He's here. He's in New York. He's a Jet. And guess what, folks? Now is the time to be excited as a New York Jets fan, because they're clearly building towards a big, bright future. Rodgers comes here from the Packers. I kind of felt like this was going to be the deal when this was all going down. I had a feeling it was going to be a first-round swap. The pick that they got for Elijah Moore, I felt it was going to go back to Green Bay, which it did. The conditional first-round pick, listen, folks, we're Jets fans, okay? Let's sit here and be honest with ourselves. We haven't had a fucking quarterback, okay, since Chad Pennington, okay? That's almost 20 years ago, where the franchise had competent quarterback play on a daily basis on Sunday. So the conditional first-round pick, if Aaron Rodgers plays 65% of the games, guess what, folks? If Aaron Rodgers plays 65% of the snaps, the New York Jets are going to the playoffs for the first time in 16 years, and they end the longest drought in professional sports in terms of going to the playoffs. So I don't give a rat's ass about the conditional first rounder, which will be a late first round pick, by the way. It's not like it's a top 10 protected like it's basketball. It's not like it's a guaranteed top 5 pick. It's going to be a late first round pick. I will part with that any day of the week for a chance to win a fucking Super Bowl. So all the Jet fans who are bitching and moaning about the conditional first round pick, shove it up your ass, is what I have to say to you. Because you complain when the Jets are bad, but when the Jets make moves to win now and fucking compete for a Super Bowl, you're bitching about the draft picks, which 90% of the time in New York Jets history, the Jets miss on a draft pick anyway in the first round. I know the Joe Douglas regime is a little bit different, okay? I know that he's hit on draft picks, obviously, offensive rookie of the year, defensive rookie of the year in the past draft. But folks, a late conditional first round pick, which will be probably 26th or higher, because I don't know about you, I have realistic expectations that this team is going places. They're going to at least, and if they don't make it there, I am going to be disappointed. They're going to at least be in the AFC Championship game. You can mark that down now. It's May 1st, 2023. If all goes well, this team stays healthy, this team will be competing for a Super Bowl come January. Mark it down. So to all of you who are bitching about giving up the first round pick, do me a favor, take it, shove it up your ass sideways, and move on with your life. The team's finally trying to compete and trying to win. Fucking buy in or get the fuck out. If you're complaining about draft picks, okay? If you're complaining about draft picks, you're a loser. You're a loser. You're so conditioned to losing as a Jets fan that you want to hoard these draft picks because you want to build with the young team and build for the future. We've been doing it for 15 fucking years. 15 fucking years we've been doing it. Enough is enough. We're going for it. Wake up. Smell the fucking coffee. We're going for it. The team is going for it. And the Jets had also not a great draft, but a very good draft. Not a very good draft, but a great. I don't know how it goes. I would say the Jets had a B plus, A minus draft. Okay, I wasn't thrilled with the Will McDonald pick in the first round until you watch Will McDonald's tape. All right, I'm gonna break down ball for you guys a little bit because I know a lot of you guys understand football, but you don't conceptually understand football. When Will McDonald played in a 3-3-5 stack at Iowa State, which means 3 down linemen, 3 linebackers, 5 DBs, okay? Majority of the time as a 6'4", 245-pound end, he had to line up as a 3-shade. A 3-shade means as a defensive end, he was lining up over the outside shoulder of the guard. Now, with Will McDonald being 6'4", 245 pounds, naturally undersized against the bigger guards who are probably 6'5", 6'6", 330, 340 pounds. Okay? So a lot of the times he was lined up as a 3-shade because of the scheme that Iowa State plays. So yes, and those times he looked overmatched. But he won't be lining up as a 3-shade for the New York Jets. Where he will be lining up is as a 5-shade. So the 5-shade as a defensive end is the outside shoulder of the tackle. And if you watch the film of Will McDonald rushing the passer, okay, from the 5-shade technique, he's a beast. He's a beast. He gets to the quarterback. He causes mayhem. He disrupts the run game. He takes things on with his outside shoulder, makes things bounce back inside to the linebackers who are flowing over the top to make plays. The kid is a very good defensive end. And his bend to get around these bigger tackles, he has fast hands, fast feet, and the bend to get around the tackles. I wasn't a fan at first, but then when I started breaking down the film of Will McDonald, I give that pick probably a B+. It's a shade underneath an A- for me, but it's a very good pick. You also have to look to the future for the Jets. Carl Lawson is on the last year of his deal. Probably not going to get re-signed. Huff is on the last year of his deal. Probably not going to get re-signed. So on the current roster for the Jets, we have Jermaine Johnson, who will be here long term. He was a first-round draft pick last year. Okay, we have the addition of McDonald, and we have the other defensive end, John Franklin Myers. Okay, so long term, it was a long-term pick because in the year from now, I don't see Carl Lawson or Huff on this roster. So kudos to Douglas, who sat there at 15, was probably trying to trade the pick, but then went for the need, and the need was a pass rusher. So kudos to Douglas. I like the pick. I think McDonald will be a productive player in the league. Time will tell. But if you break down the film the way I have, you'll like the pick more and more. Okay? Second round pick, they get the center, Tippett out of Wisconsin, and the kid's a mauler. He's a mauler. He's a pulling center. So, first off, very hard to do, all right, for a center to get the snap, get around on his high horse, hit the hole and pull, and get the correct pull every time, all right? This kid mauls people. In the running game, mauls people. Pass game, he's very good too. He needs a little bit of work. That's why McGovern's there. He's gonna compete with McGovern. Iron sharpens iron. Okay? Will McGovern start the season over Tippett? I don't know. They'll compete together in camp. But again, when was the last time the Jets drafted a center? I'll answer the question. Nick Mangold, 2005. Okay? The Jets have been in and out with a center every other year, it seems like. Every other year, it's a new center. McGovern's been here for the last 3. He's done a decent job on a very shitty offensive line. Okay? But this kid Tippett will be a 10-year starter for the Jets at some point. I'm not saying it will be this year. Like I said, they just brought McGovern back on the cheap for $1 million, I think. He signed for a $1.5 million one-year deal, which we'll take that. But yeah, Tippett will be a player, and he will be a starter for this team for years to come. Okay? So everyone needs to relax. I know we didn't get the sexy pick. Everybody wanted Smith from Ohio State in the first round, and then others wanted secondary help in the second round. But listen, these are 2 very good picks, 1 and 2 in the draft. Okay, I agreed to Tippett pick an A- because I think the kid's gonna be a stud. So if you watch the video of this kid fucking snapping and pulling around on his rear end and just knocking people out, he's really good for his size, 6'6", 335 pounds. You don't find that in a center, and the Jets just got that. So I love the pick. Love the pick. Third round, they got a tackle. A guy that started 30 games for Pitt. He was injured last year, but he started 30 games for Pitt. He's an athletic tackle. He's a good pick. He's a good insurance policy in case Mekhi, I can't put a sandwich down Becton, again falls apart in training camp and gets hurt again. I can't rely on Mekhi Becton anymore. I'm sorry. The guy loves eating food more than he loves playing football. I'm being blunt. I'm being honest. I'm a fat guy myself. But the guy loves eating food more than he loves playing football. And he's consistently out of shape. And until he comes into camp in shape, okay, healthy, I will continue to bash Mekhi Becton, okay? It's nothing personal. I want Mekhi Becton to be there. I want Mekhi Becton to start. I want Mekhi Becton to be a beast like everybody thought he was going to be when he was drafted out of Louisville 4 years ago. It just hasn't panned out. And it's because the guy can't put down a fucking ham and cheese sandwich, okay? So the insurance policy at left tackle, a guy that played left tackle for Kenny Pickett for three out of 4 years, okay? Got hurt last year, started 30 games in his career. It's a good pick by the Jets. It's a good pick by the Jets. And then probably the steal of the draft, okay, is this kid Izzy out of Pitt. This kid, I watched a lot of Pitt games last year. Animal. Has touched the football and gone speed. He gets it, he's gone. He hits a hole, he's gone. Now, can you imagine a healthy Breece Hall tandemed with this kid, with the rest of the wide receiving core, with the tight end core, with a new rejuvenated offensive line? This team is going places. Buy in. I'm telling you, it's for once in my 28 years on this earth, I am excited for a New York Jets season, and it starts with the guy playing quarterback and everything else they're doing to build around this guy. It's big time, folks. It's big time. The Jets are going to be a team to reckon with in 2023, 2024. Big time. We got the Knicks now. I'm segueing because we've got so much shit going on. I haven't spoken with you guys in forever. The Knicks are now in the second round after smacking around the Cleveland Cavaliers. Hey, Spider. Don't you wish you came to the Knicks? Jesus. Smacking around Donovan Mitchell. And I love Donovan Mitchell, but boy, oh boy, the Knicks made Donovan Mitchell look irrelevant in that series, man. After game 2, the guy fell off the face of the planet. Credit to Thibodeau. Credit to the boys strapping them down. Josh Hart, absolute animal. You can put Josh Hart on the top scorer of all these teams, and this guy's going to hold them to 25 points or under. And that's all you can ask for. You don't want the game-breaking games of 30 plus, 40 plus from the other team's stars. If you're holding the other team's star to 25 points, you did your job. And in multiple games in that series, Josh Hart held Donovan Mitchell to under 25 points. So kudos to Josh Hart. That was a great fucking pickup at the deadline. They needed a swing 3 and D guy, and Josh Hart was probably one of the best ones on the market. And it was just a great pick. I love the Josh Hart pick. Love it. They smack around Cleveland in the first round, and yesterday, the Knicks in the first half looked like they were going to beat the Heat by 15 plus points. This is the thing, though. In playoff basketball, when you start playing the better teams, I know the Miami Heat were the 8th seed, but they have one of the best coaches in basketball in Eric Spoelstra. So, whatever the Knicks were doing in the first half, did we not think that Spoelstra was going to make the adjustments to stop the Knicks from running up and down the court and getting those easy buckets in the paint like they were in the first half? Did we not think that there was some sort of adjustment coming? So this is where the Knicks need to grow up. I know they're a younger team, but the Heat flashed zone at them multiple times yesterday. They realized man-to-man they couldn't hold up, that guys were just getting blown by. All day long, blown by. At one point, they had a box and one. They were running a box and one on R.J. Barrett, which you almost never see. Okay? Box and one, for those of you that don't know, 2 guys in zone up top, 2 guys in zone down low, and then you have 1 guy following the guy who's basically torching you, which at that point was Barrett, because Barrett was going off in the first half. Off. He was getting to the paint and getting a bucket any which way he wanted. So, the Heat are a good team. They're a well-coached team. They're a veteran team. And the Knicks, in the second half, just laid an egg. They laid an egg. The Heat made the adjustments. The Knicks did it. And that was the story of the game. Butler's health is going to be a question mark going forward. He rolled that ankle really, really ugly yesterday. When he checked back into the game, he could barely put any pressure on the ankle. Also, quick on the Yankees front. They got absolutely bamboozled in Texas over the weekend. Not looking good for the Yankees. 8 games back of first place at the moment. Doesn't help the Rays seemingly don't lose. So it's not helping their case. But the lineup is banged up. You look at the lineup they put out there yesterday, it looks like a triple up, with the exception of LeMahieu and Rizzo. I mean, the lineup is just, it's bad. It's bad. And it's not up to the Yankee status quo, not up to the caliber that it should be for a team that is competing, quote unquote, for championships every year. And that's just a bad job on Brian Cashman, because Cashman did not make the moves in the offseason that the Yankees needed in order to compete in this division, but not only compete in the division, but to compete in the AL. I mean, they didn't make any moves. All they did was the kids that were promised came up, and they're not performing. Granted, it's a month into the season. They're just starting to get their feet underneath them in the major leagues, but these kids are not performing, and because of that, the lineup is suffering, and with the lineup suffering, they're losing games. So we'll see what happens with the Yankees, but the Yankees they're banged up. Donaldson's out, Stanton's out, Judge is out. It's not looking good in the Bronx right now for the New York Yankees at the moment. We're running up on about 40 minutes right now. I'm going to cut it off here. Great getting back on here, talking to you guys. I love this shit. I'm sorry that I've been away. You know, that dead period of after the Super Bowl is just, there's not a lot to talk about. What am I going to come on and talk about? I'm going to talk about NFL free agency, maybe a UFC fight here and there. I'm not going to recap Knicks and Met games. There was no Knicks and Islander and Ranger games, excuse me. There's no real substance for me to come on. But now we're in the heat of the playoff race here in New York for the locals. Hopefully these races go far. Hopefully the Rangers advance tonight. Hopefully the Knicks take care of business Tuesday before they go away to sunny Miami. And hopefully take at least 1 out of 2 there. Hopefully both. So we'll be back on next week. Appreciate you guys tuning in. Like, subscribe, comment. As always, folks, I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.